Happy Camper Radio.
We are back in the studio again. Hello, everybody. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and we're going to make a happy camper out of you. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, here I am.
So glad to see you. We've been
I'm
on the move, yes.
Whew.
I'm back.
You're back. I'm back. We're all back.
Yep, and we've had a lot of
Still
stuff
tired.
going on, but you know, we always got time to come in here to do a show in the studio.
Squeeze it in.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, on today's program, we're going to be talking about the importance of winterizing your equipment. Right now, the weather is a little bit cold, and the last thing you need is to have any of your equipment damaged because of the cold weather and because you didn't take the necessary precautions. I've already got my RV winterized, and we're going to be talking why you should do the same on today's edition of Happy Camper Radio.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
And as always, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners like yourself. You can find us in all the popular podcast directories out there. Whatever one you choose to listen through, chances are you're going to find Happy Camper Radio right there. Of course, we're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on X, and, of course, watch us on YouTube. That is the best way to see the program. And I know we have a lot of listeners, and we got people, that listen to the program, in their cars, at work, at home, at the campground, which is probably one of the best places to listen to Happy Camper Radio. But, if you really want to get the whole feel of the program, you got to watch us on our YouTube channel. Yeah. There's a little red pop tent down here in the corner. Okay. Click on that. And you never miss an episode of the Happy Camper Radio Show. Anytime we have a new episode coming up, you'll find it for sure. Well, Daniel, I want to talk today about the importance of winterizing your RV and winterizing your pop-up camper or, whatever, fifth wheel, whatever you have. Okay. But, before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about our recent journeys. Now, the last time that we were in the studio, I was telling you I was about to head on down to Glen St. Mary, Florida. I went down there to the North Florida Grand Design Rally. Daniel, I had a blast. Woo! Okay, with one exception. I came down with the flu before I left.
Oh, boy.
Daniel, and some people would say, the heck with it, I'm staying home, I'm not going to go. No, that was not an option. I decided I was going to go one way, shape, or form, and it's a good thing that I did go early. Now, when I got there, Daniel, I was the only person camping in our section of the park.
Oh, nice.
Right. I got there before everybody.
Nice.
Now, even though that I was, feeling kind of down and I was pumping all kind of medication and stuff in me, I did spend a lot of time inside the RV, under the covers, doing what I could to get better. And I did finally feel better after the rally got underway. But, this park down here, Daniel, let me tell you, this campground right here, it is probably one of the nicest ones you'd ever want to see.
Okay.
All the sites are paved.
Nice.
You back right in there, you hook up, and I met some really wonderful folks down there too, Daniel. One of the gentlemen he coming in with his wife, I didn't have an opportunity to talk with him. His name was Tim Freed. Now, I come to find out he is going to be at the Myrtle Beach Rally coming up here in March.
Nice.
Which I already have reservations to.
Ooh, you're on top of it.
So, yeah, I mean, when we finally, had to say our goodbyes and everything, it was like, hey, this is not, I'll never see you again.
I'll see you in April or whatever.
I'll see you at the end of March, yeah. And, that rally is coming up here on the 27th of March, and it runs through the 30th. Now, that also, I planned on being there early this year. Remember last year when I went?
Yeah.
I got there the day before the rally. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, you're an old hat now. This will be your fourth one coming up, right?
It will be, right. And and I just decided, if I'm going to, hook up the RV and I'm going to travel like I did, all right, I'm going to spend the time there.
It's a lot of effort to, do this kind of stuff. It's not like, 3 days is like the minimum to like really hook up, pack up and get all your stuff together to go somewhere. Because it takes a lot of work to, actually be prepared for all this.
And it's not just that, Daniel. it's the idea. And I learned this on day one because Myrtle Beach was our first rally that we went to last year. And if I would have gotten there early, I would have been able to venture out to a lot of the festivities that were going on before the rally got started.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm sitting at home and I'm on my Facebook page, and I'm on the Grand Design Facebook page for Myrtle Beach, and I'm seeing all these activities that are going on, and I'm here at home.
Yeah,
not going to happen again. No, I'm going to take.
You got to get
advantage.
settled in before everything happens.
Right, but yeah, these rallies are really great, Daniel. Like I said, this is going to be the fourth one coming up, but at the same time, we've got the one coming up in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. That's the rally I really want to go to.
Oh yeah.
So our
Sevierville, right?
It's actually in Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge.
Right.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. And son-in-law Luke is up there.
Yeah, I know.
So hopefully,
I love it up there.
So hopefully, maybe you can tag along.
Maybe. When is that?
He's been inviting us to.
I know.
To camp out on his driveway. Apparently, he's got a very big piece of property up there, which I'm be excited to see too.
Take the pop-up out of the backyard somehow.
Yeah, well, you'll get.
I finally got it put on solid like cement or whatever, because I had it on the ground for a while, and then our friend Gary came out because of the whole Asheville thing, and he stayed there, and we pulled it out. But when I pulled it back in, I got it jacked up enough to put it onto like these little paving pads, so it doesn't just sit on the ground.
I see that, and you ran into some problems with code enforcement too over that.
Yeah, it was on the side of the house, and evidently you're not allowed to have a temporary structure
so
less
ridiculous.
than 10 feet away, and it was obvious. I mean, everyone doesn't know obviously, but like the property next to me is your property, and like you were willing to have a signed statement that says it's okay and everything, but that's not good enough for them. So yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Well, fortunately that neighborhood over there is not an HOA community, but
Nope.
You've got code enforcement, which is a government-run HOA.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they're going to be out looking for violations, and unfortunately, they found you.
They did.
But you got it in the back, and it's out of sight, out of mind, and
exactly.
You don't have them.
It's just going to be a pain in the butt to like take my truck back, circle around, and it's just going to be more of a pain in the butt. But hey, whatever you got to do, you got to do.
Yeah, I hear you. But I had a great time down there in Glen St. Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Got there early and met a lot of nice people.
Yeah.
And I'm planning to go back again next year. So
any Brunswick people you see?
Any who?
Brunswick people?
No, I didn't see any folks from Brunswick there.
Okay.
And there's still an opportunity to go to Brunswick. I understand they still have a few slots available.
They're not going to be at that same place though.
Yeah,
are
they are. Mm-hmm.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But, if I do plan on going down there for the next rally, I'll let you know, because you had a great time while you were there.
I might have to go down there again.
Okay. Yeah, we could make that happen. But, no sooner did I get back from the North Florida rally, that very same day, you and Deidre were on a flight to California. Okay.
Yep.
And you got to see our friend Rose.
We
out
did.
there.
We flew all the way to San Francisco. Her husband, Vern, picked us up from the airport, and that was kind of a drive, because they live more in the Sacramento area, outside of Sacramento, but our flight was like $800 cheaper to fly into San Francisco. But he picked us up, and they treated us like royalty. I mean, they have this place out in the woods. I forgot what Rose is yelling at the at the radio right now at the name of the town that we stayed in, but it was like out in the woods, and like this whole area we stayed in was like, it's called like Gold Country, and she was showing us all the areas she used to work at. Like there's this she lives in Auburn, but there was a Auburn Recreational Center, and it has all these really cool mountains and stuff, and she was showing us this place that she used to work at, and evidently that was the place where the guy who found the first golden nugget that started the gold rush, which wouldn't have been a gold rush if he would have just shut his mouth, but she used to work there for a while, and she was showing us around, and evidently there's this big walnut tree in front of her office, and I took a bunch of walnuts and started eating them, and she's like, "These are the best walnuts in the world." And you know, we had a lot of fun with her, walking around, seeing stuff, her pointing stuff out, and you know, she was talking to a bunch of rangers, telling them how stuff was then and there, and she was telling us about a bunch of stories from her newest book, and even other stories. And I was just, it was an awesome.
You had a great time.
It was a great time. I mean, it was. There's so much happened. It's like it could be a whole episode, but I loved it so much. I wish I could remember that town.
Wow. Well, you know, it's things like this that have kept us away from the studio. But you know, you've got to have that type of lifestyle, Daniel. You've got to get out here and you got to venture. But,
let me tell you this. So the place where we were, her little cabin, every day there were deer all the time.
No kidding.
Deer everywhere, turkeys everywhere. We saw a big turkey fight one day. One was like grabbing at another's neck, and they were all over the place. It was like a fight club for wild turkeys. It was just right outside the door, and yeah, it was crazy. It was really, really cool, and it's very different out there. It's a whole nother world. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, you know, since our last episode, we've had the presidential election, and now that is behind us too, and all the mudslinging and the name calling and character assassinations. We don't have to deal with that anymore. But, you know, I'm just so glad that is now behind us, and we've got a great camping season ahead of us, and I'm already making reservations for 2025. And Daniel, I'm going to be returning to Pittsburgh again. It wasn't really planned until I come to find out they were planning our 50-year class reunion. Well, that makes you feel old when you have to say that. I'm going to go to my 50-year
I'm not even 50.
class reunions. Yeah, but
I hope I make it that far.
That's coming up in September, and I went ahead and I'm making the plans to drive up there. I'm going to be staying at that same KOA campground.
Nice.
That's halfway distance between Atlanta and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you want to take some time because you said you did too much last time.
Yeah, you can't really drive that straight, and I don't like the idea of spending the night in a rest stop. So, you know, and being retired, I'll go ahead and take a couple days, and I'll hang out there, and maybe I'll be able to visit that bowling alley.
Yeah.
That they had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and try my luck there. But, yeah, I'll get up there and set up camp for about 4 or 5 days at the Mountaintop Campground in Tarentum, Pennsylvania. And, of course, you know, I have my brother along so he can, you know, keep an eye on Sadie for me. And speaking of my brother, right behind me, Daniel, look what I got for Christmas.
What's that?
Yeah, I've got a Happy Camper Christmas decoration. It's on the table right here behind me, and I've got a shot of it here for all of our viewers on YouTube to take a look at. He got me that for Christmas, as well as some Happy Camper pot holders.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, they're going to work their way into the RV
we get
well.
We get no proceeds from this, by the way.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'll tell you what, Rick, hey, thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. And he's going to be joining us down in Myrtle Beach. And hopefully, with a little luck, if we get into the Tennessee rally, he'll be driving down for that as well.
There you go.
So, yeah, they're going to be great opportunities to get together and, you know, share some good times with family, as well as, you know, getting out there and enjoying the fellow Grand Design owners and spending some time with them. Well, Daniel, on the program today, and I know we've been rattling on here for quite a bit about, you know, our recent journeys and everything, and you know, I want to talk about the importance of winterizing your equipment. Now, for myself, I went ahead and took care of that about 3 weeks ago, because here in the South, as we know it, you know, the weather can spin on a dime.
Yep.
And we've had some temperatures that really dropped below freezing here the past few days. So, you know, the last thing you want to do is not winterize your equipment and then come to find out in the spring when you break everything out, you've got some busted water lines, you've got some busted fittings, and that's going to run into some work. And if, you know, you're not knowing what you're doing, then your RV is going to be at the dealership where it may be there for 3 or 4 months before they finally get to it. And, you know, and that's a lot of, you know, camping time that is wasted.
It is.
So, you know, and of course, I'm talking to folks who have been in the the RV business for quite a long time, and you've been traveling and you have an RV or you have a fifth wheel or whatever, I'm probably preaching to the choir right now. But, for somebody who may be a primitive camper that may be thinking about getting an RV, or maybe if you just got an RV.
Right.
And like maybe in your case, Dan, you have bought used before.
I always buy used.
I always tell people, look, if you're going to buy used, do your homework on it first. But one of the very first things you want to do before you actually purchase that is go online and get a manual for it if one is not already included with the unit you're purchasing.
Definitely.
And you can just about get any PDF, version of a manual online today. In fact, I got one for my sister when she bought her RV. She got one used. And
YouTube videos help too. Like if you're thinking of like your certain brand, if you're thinking of a Grand Design, Solitude, or whatever, I'm sure there's a million videos online, so like you really get a grasp, because like some people are manual people and they can look at the manual and they can see, but like I'm more of a visual person, so if someone's actually in the trailer doing the thing, it really gives me a better perspective. So like manuals and videos are a big thing, I think.
Yeah, but for myself, I've come to find out, and this is after, I think this is the third year that I've had the RV where I've had to winterize it. But I've gotten to the point where, I just now have to buy 3 gallons of the RV antifreeze and pump that in there and, and actually flush all the water out of the lines, put that RV antifreeze in there, and I'm good to go. So
do you blow the lines with like an air compressor?
No, I don't have to.
Do.
What I would do is actually drain the lines.
Okay.
No, there are some ports at the back of the RV for the hot and cold water, and you open those up, and I let the drain out for a day.
Yeah,
and let it air out.
We used to when we were up at my trailer. I mean, my whole life, I remember at the wintertime, we would turn off all the stuff, and we'd get our little air compressor, and we'd put it in there for a good 5-10 minutes. And we never put antifreeze in. We just blew the heck out of it with the air compressor.
You make sure that your black water and gray water tanks or valves are opened up. So everything's all drained out of there. And then most definitely you want to pull the relief valve for your freshwater tank. So all the water is out of there. Okay, and then you go ahead and every RV is different. Every pop-up is different. However they tell you to go ahead and do this process, you go ahead and do it. But follow the instructions in that manual to the T to make sure that your RV or your pop-up camper, your fifth wheel, whatever you're using, is properly winterized. Don't think that Mother Nature is not going to show you any mercy, because she won't.
Yeah.
All right. And fortunately, knock on wood, outside of the incident I had with mounting the refrigerator and had to deal with that, I have really not had any problems with that RV at all.
That's good.
I get on the roof of that 4 times a year to make sure everything up there is looking good.
Yeah.
I know you keep talking to me about buying a big old canopy for it. They're not going to fit in where my RV is parked at.
No.
So it's not going to work there. But I'm
eventually
pretty comfortable with where it's at now. My brother, on the other hand, now he's got an RV. He's got a Coleman RV up in Pennsylvania. Now they get some nasty weather up there.
Yes,
in
they
fact,
do.
the family was down here for Thanksgiving, and my brother had his iPhone with him, and he's able to go check on his house, and he has a camera video outside of his front door, and he was showing me where it was snowing up there. Everything is covered in white.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, my brother who lives right down the road from him, he's probably already got his RV already covered up and wrapped up and winterized and everything.
Definitely.
So, he's on top of that. But I can't explain to folks enough how important it is to make sure that your RV is properly maintained, properly winterized this time of the year. Again, you don't want to go into the brand new season coming up, thinking everything is going to be fine when, the last thing you need, Daniel, is to have one of those water lines break.
Yeah.
Get water in there, freeze up, break. And, a lot of those are underneath the RV, those water lines. Some of them are in the walls, depending upon how the manufacturer has constructed it. You get a break in one of those lines and get it repaired. it's going to cost you some big time money unless you know exactly what you're doing. But, don't let it get to that point.
Yep.
Get in there, read that manual, find out exactly what you have to do, and take all the necessary steps. And don't overlook your hot water heater in there, too. All of these 6-gallon hot water heaters, you have to bypass them. You've got to remove the anode rod. You got to flush that thing out. This is all part of the winterization process. And I'll get real excited here, Daniel, in a couple months when I got to de-winterize.
Yeah.
The only
That's when the fun starts.
No, the fun is going to start when I got to repack those wheel bearings.
There you go.
I did that for the first time last year, and Daniel, for 4 wheels, it was an all-day project.
Ugh.
Okay, but it's got to be done.
Right.
It's one of those things, you're going to have to get this work done and out of the way before you get your RV out on the road. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to start looking for my campgrounds up on Lake Lanier, Lake Allatoona, and up there in Lake Hartwell, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got a lot of great camping coming up. My daughter is home now.
Yep.
So yeah, she is really excited. She got a tour of the RV.
Nice.
And she is really happy about wanting to get out there. And that's something, camping has always been in the Huber family. It goes generations back, and, hopefully one of these days, maybe she can, decide she wants to go ahead and take on this kind of lifestyle. I'd be really looking forward to it. But Daniel, you've got a pop-up camper.
I do have a pop-up camper.
And, have you actually taken the time to winterize it?
I haven't done anything.
All right. Well,
I don't use water in it, though.
Okay.
At all.
Well, when we were down in Port St. Joe, Florida.
Yeah, I wanted to fix it, but we didn't get to it.
You never got to that?
No.
You never got that valve fixed?
No. We never really use water. We never use water inside.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
No, you have a furnace in there that you've never used. You don't have a propane tank.
The furnace, there are some lines that are kind of crusted over, and I don't have a propane tank, and we've never really done anything with that. We just usually get an external heater and plug it up to the main box and do it like that.
But there's going to come a point in time, Daniel, where you will want to use those.
Oh, definitely. I want everything to work.
If
I
anything,
hate that it doesn't work.
Yeah, that is one of the things that you and I are dead. Hit the nail on the head about. If you may use it, you may not use it, but you want it there and you want it to work.
Yes, I hate that it doesn't.
Right. Okay. So you're going to get that water line working eventually. Mm-hmm. So it may not be something you need to worry about now because, like you say, you don't have any water in your system. You got a water tank in there, but you're not using it. But there's going to come a time when you do, and you decide that okay. Now is the time I'm going to have to winterize. Mm-hmm. All right, it's coming in fall. Now, granted the fact that you and your wife are not retired at this particular point.
No, we're not. That's why we can't do nothing.
But you're going to go probably early and go ahead and do your winterization. Mm-hmm. You may do that maybe in September or October versus like myself, who just got back from the Grand Design Rally in North Florida. And that was early November. Mm-hmm. So, the weather has been pretty nice up until recently. So I went ahead and I made sure that I got that all winterized, all taken care of, all put away, and don't have to worry about those freezing temperatures right now.
Well, for the longest time, we had our pop-up in our garage. So you really don't have to worry about anything because it never gets below freezing in the garage. So mm-hmm. that was nice.
Well, you're using your garage for other things now,
yes,
so that's why your pop-up camper is on the outside. Unfortunately, I can't.
The seams.
I've got a big garage too, and unfortunately, I cannot put that RV in the garage.
I've seen people build specific garages just for their RVs, and that is all. I'm talking not just the cover. I'm talking about the full 4 walls and the whole shabam.
You look at that and you dream on, but the landscaping on my property here is not going to allow for it.
You got a lot of yard in the back, so who knows?
Yeah. Make me kind of jealous looking at my neighbors. Yeah, they have the property I wish I had. But anyway, Daniel, I had a great time. You had a great time, and it's always a great time to be back here in the studio talking up Happy Camper Radio. It's time now for our featured campground of the week, Daniel. And that is right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
Well, since you have California on your mind, Daniel,
Hey.
maybe we ought to go out there and see what they have available in
They got
the
a lot.
line of campgrounds.
They got a lot.
We're going to take you out to the Cleveland National Forest. Now,
Okay.
this is near Mount Laguna, California.
Okay.
And, Daniel, this is the Laguna Campground.
All right.
Laguna Campground is a great mountain getaway just 1 hour east of San Diego, California, in the Laguna Mountain Recreation Area. Now, campers can enjoy cooler temperatures, unique natural areas, and an extensive trail system at this mountain resort. Now, I'll tell you, Daniel, there's a whole lot of information right here. You need to check it out on their website. Not quite sure if this is one of those year-round campgrounds, but it may very well be. The large campground facility has 5 loops, and the sites are fairly close to one another. One campsite meets accessibility standards. The facility is equipped with campfire rings, flush toilets, restrooms, and coin-operated showers.
Okay.
Yeah, bring a roll of quarters with you, Daniel, if you need to take a shower.
Does the hot water go off after a while or something?
I don't
How's
know.
that work?
It might cost you another
Oh, boy.
50 cents for that. Who knows?
boy.
Part of the campground is fenced off to protect the habitat from the endangered Laguna skipper butterfly. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, well, apparently they're well protected in California. Visitors
sounds like
are
it.
asked to respect the fenced boundaries and comply with maximum site occupancy. All the information is going to be on Happy Camper Radio this week. You can find it there on our website at happycamperradio.com. Just click on the featured campground tab. Also, the need to know before you go items. There's a bunch of them right there at the bottom of the page. Go through them. Check them out. Pets are allowed. And remember, folks, don't move firewood. Protect California's forest from those tree-killing pests by purchasing your firewood locally and burning it on site. For more information, visit don'tmovefirewood.org. We have a link for that also on happycamperradio.com. This is a great campground, Daniel. You keep telling me to get out there to visit Rose in California.
Well, that ain't anywhere near her, but
Yeah, well, I'll tell you
California's
what,
huge.
if I drive out there to visit her, I'm going to bring the RV, and I just might drive up to the Cleveland National Forest and visit the Laguna Campground. It is our featured campground of the week, Daniel. That's right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel.
Yes, sir.
HappyCamperRadio.com.
And as always, if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or this guy right in front of me.
Hey, it's Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And by all means, be sure to include a link to the campground website. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us here
Yes,
today.
sir.
Glad to be back in the studio again. Always a pleasure. And don't get my dog all riled up here, but get her
She just
barking
wants to-
as she did in the last episode.
Wants to make a cameo appearance.
You know that for sure. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. Do exactly as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. We're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on X, and by all means, check us out on our YouTube channels where you can see this show. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper.
Hey.
And without question,
I'll be
my
the happy
friends,
camper.
yes, she is. We're going to make a happy camper out of you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be talking to you soon. This is Happy Camper Radio.